Good afternoon, guys. Leslie at Inskeep Bakers. Oh, got more stuff to plant in the garden. So, whoa, windy. We're gonna head out that way. It's super hot today. See if we can. Goodness! Neighbor's got a couple Nubian dolings, and they like to scream at me. Just a second, let me put this stuff down. Okay, this is all stuff that I ordered in my Azure Standard order. So I've got a little 6-pack of assorted basil, and this stuff has kind of been hardening off on the deck up there. So partial shade, partial sun. This holy basil was not real happy. I did kind of prune it back, and there is some little leaves starting to grow there at the bottom, so I don't think I've killed it yet. I have 2 cilantro, 2 parsley, there's 2 dinosaur kale in here, 4 jalapenos, and I got a mullein. That will probably either go in a tub like this or in a pot that can be taken back into the sunroom for the winter. I need to check. It's a biannual, so what is that, like it seeds 1 year and comes up every, I don't know, I'll have to check on that. We are going to be tying up and pruning tomatoes today, so I've got my little trimmers, my tie tool. Looks like there's a blueberry about ready. So I think I had these 2. I think this one and that one down there were the ones that were in the little pots with the peach trees, and I stuck this North Blue in here. I don't think this is the North Blue, because this looks like, oh, I don't remember what it was called. It's like a pink lemonade, or I don't know, something. I'll have to look. But I did get my first ever blueberry the other day from one of these. It was up here at the top. I picked it right there, and oh, it was delicious. So, we are, I don't know, probably at least 100 degrees at the moment. Probably hotter than that in the sun. So it's going to be a short stint out here probably. I want to try to get the tomatillos and these extra aromas over here. They're probably dying off in these little pots in the heat here. Oh goodness. A bunch of this volunteer stuff from the pigs won't be planted. I don't know if we'll, yeah, my tomatillos are not looking well. So this whole section needs to get planted. Oh, what do I, I have some cilantro here. Needs to get planted. Some chocolate mint. And I think there's a dill. All these marigolds. Poor things are all dying over here. So I gotta try to get all this stuff, aside from the volunteer stuff on each end from the pigs. I need to get this planted today. So whether or not they make a recovery, I don't know. I think like this thyme and the mint and some of the herbs are going to go in the green stalk up on the deck, so I could take those up. This stuff is going crazy, except for that one. That one looks like it's dying for sure. Need to get some more of these tied up. I did put, let's go to the other end, a shade cloth up the other day. You get the whole thing here. So it's just two, they're pretty cheap. I was afraid that they might get ruined on the cattle panels. So I did not want to put our more expensive one that we have out here. But it seems to be doing its job. These plants seem to be a little happier. This end is shaded more in the morning because the sun rises on that side. They seem to be a little happier in here. This side does still get full sun throughout the day. We'll have to watch and see how these do. There's, I think, a blue and a green Hubbard here. The rest of the stuff here probably won't mind, but we'll see how they do. The cabbage seems to be doing okay, as long as Joey doesn't lay on it. Kohlrabi. So we're going to start filling in a bunch of these empty spots. I did bring kind of my garden map, so I know if I've stuck seeds in somewhere. I think I stuck some in here, but they're not doing anything. Oh, these cucumbers are doing okay. I have 4 jalapenos, so mine are bouncing back, but very slowly. So I think we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 jalapenos here. That's a basil. This one might be trying to make a comeback. This was a green pepper, but these are the 2 green peppers that I purchased. They had tiny little peppers on them, but now they're definitely getting larger. And it looks like all of my habaneros are coming back. So I didn't even have to top those. Critters did them for me. And we'll get a couple things planted over here with the tomatoes. I am going to turn on the irrigation. I am absolutely loving the irrigation because I am terrible at watering because I don't, like, now's my time of day to be able to do this stuff. And this is, I don't know why these keep, once they fill it drops back down, but they always kink up like this when I turn it off. I don't know if I need more stakes or if that's just what it does. I have to go through and kind of pull it back down. But this time of day I'm trying to water just the ground and not get the plants, because then they will fry if they're wet in the sun. Joey's liking the shade. Hi, Joe. Good boy. So that's the plan today. Probably be in and out since it's a little crispy out here. Whew. And eat some more raspberries. A bunch of stuff to tie up on this side. And look at that. Volunteer, oh, bugs. Volunteer dill. We'll have to dig that up and transplant it. Looks like that. Maybe zucchini over there is not doing so hot. Maybe it just needs some water. But everything else seems to be alright. Contemplating whether I come back and reseed some of these bush beans. I don't think any of those are coming up, so I think I need to try again. Get some more stuff watered. Woo, I can see potato. See if I can get my finger in the right spot. There's some potato plants, so you can kind of see where it's mounding up. It's where they're coming up. And one right over here. Looks like one up by that post over there. So they're definitely starting to grow. I still need to get more straw on them. Looks like we need to weed these sweet potatoes out here. But I'll try to keep you guys with me as long as the camera will cooperate today. I'm going to turn on the watering system and then start trying to get stuff planted, trimmed, tied up, all of that good stuff. Okay guys, the camera did not cooperate in the heat today. So I planted, I don't know, I think there's a parsley, a kale, got a bunch of this stuff tied up, pruned the tomatoes and tied up the ones that I could. Jason's walking up here. I'm going to have him help me move these over. And I got aromas and tomatillos planted. Got all the stuff out to set up their water lines and show you guys that, but I think we'll have to come back tomorrow and do that because it is already almost 6 o'clock and I need to get in the house and make dinner. So all it entails is I have the main line, I have a valve because each row is going to get a line, the drip line, the tool to puncture the hole, and I got to grab a few stakes to hold it in place, but we'll do that tomorrow. And I tied up a bunch of stuff here. I did find a few squash bugs and eggs, so I went and got my duct tape and cleaned that up. Hopefully tomorrow I can go out back to the compost pile and grab some more pumpkins to plant along here. And what else did I get done? This drip line is all still on. The other side we shut off. Planted the jalapenos. I did plant one over there. I think cilantro over there. Basil over here. Some more random basils. Cilantro and kale. So we'll see how everything does. Looks like I need to turn this off. It's huddling too. So here comes Jason. We'll move these out of the walkway. Probably try to move, let's see, the oregano and sage and what else is over there? Black walnut trees over here too. I think I can get, what is there, 1, 2, 5. I can get at least 7 if I do a straight line along here. Well, probably all 8 because really it can come all the way down to the walkway. Alright, everything is planted, everything is watered. That's what Clark thinks. We got all these tubs moved, and I got those watered. So I guess we'll come back, like I said, tomorrow and hook up this 2 rows of drip tape. Obviously, I'm sure you guys can probably see it. This really, I need to pull this up and kind of fill it and level it. It's got a bunch of water sitting in it just because it didn't really get leveled. It just kind of got landscape fabric thrown back on top of it, but that's okay. It works for now. I think between my tie tool, the landscape fabric, and the drip system, I really can't tell you which part is my favorite, but it is all definitely making my life a whole lot easier. Well, good afternoon. I did not make it back out into the garden yesterday to finish that drip line. So we're gonna go do that today. I'll let these turkeys out in the yard because they need to be moved. And then, whoa, I stepped on you. Sorry, turkey. I'm gonna go to put them back away. I will move them first, refill their water and give them, refill their food and give them fresh water. They're all going to attempt to, they weren't stalking me as bad today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. So, these guys all look kind of sad. I think I told you I found a bunch of volunteer dill over here. Put a bunch of it into pots, watered all this stuff in. Some of it really bounced back. A bunch of this is going to go up to the green stalk. Really need to weed at least those trees. That oregano. So pretty. Got another blueberry. I'm gonna eat it. So good. Alright. The one elderberry. It's got a lot of blooms. I think this one was later last year than this one. But it is also starting to form a bunch of berries. So Jason and I discussed possibly planting elderberries outside this fence here. I talked about putting my blueberries there, and then we've got a couple clumps of volunteer raspberries up on the dirt hill over there. Oh, I was going to set that in the shade, but there's ants there. Guess it's going to sit in the sun here. Volunteer plants, I watered them the other day. They really popped up. Jason's waiting on one more part to... Skitter's done, but it needs something. The oil's leaking. It needs like a washer or a new bolt or something in somewhere for the oil. So that hopefully will get done by this weekend, and I can get all this extra stuff planted there because it needs out of its pots. Everything else is doing good. This stuff really looks like it's enjoying the shade cloth. Yeah, stuff is really growing. And I just tied this up the other day, and it has more length on it than it did then. This is butternut, so you can see tiny little squash there. There's one. See if there's anything bigger. Oh, bunch of male flowers down here. Looks like those are the only fruits so far. Looks like there was one here, but it wasn't going to do anything. It was already turning brown. So, looks like we have a couple. Oh, and after we do this water line, I think we're going to run back to the compost pile and see about pulling some of those pumpkins out of the compost pile to get a few more pumpkins planted in here. They're all pie pumpkins, so we can use those. And whatever is extra, we'll feed the pigs. Looks like these jalapenos. So yeah, that one. And that one. We're doing good. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is lay out the drip line. And I don't know how well you guys can see, but there is an emitter where the water drips from every 12 inches. So I don't know how, I think these are price based just over that. I'm going to try to put an emitter close to each plant, or as close as possible. And then I will show you how we close off the end with just a piece of the drip tape. These are the valves. So we use this punch tool to punch a hole in the main line, and then use a lot of muscle to push this end into that hole. The drip line then attaches to here, and you tighten it down, and then we stake it into place. So I will do my best to try to show you guys all of those steps. I think, all right, where you're set up, you can see all the plants. So I'm going to try to see how it lays out. I think that one probably is not going to bounce back. So if I put an emitter on this last one, the next one is here, here, and then just past this one. So this one will actually get watered from both of these. This will get watered here. That one will get watered there. There's an emitter here and here. So we should be good there. So I'm going to grab some stakes and kind of lightly stake this into place, and then I'll bring you down and show you how to close off the end. Now when I first put these in, I pushed them down tight, thinking the line would just stay flat, but it actually expands fully, so you need to leave some room for it to expand when it fills with water. And then I can come back along and readjust them height-wise if they're not tall enough. Once we get it turned on. Okay, so to close the end of this off, I think they did sell some pieces that would slide on it somehow. But everyone that I had seen just took it, and I don't think it matters if you fold it above, you know, over or under, but everything else I just folded twice. Then I actually take it kind of fold it lengthwise. Then you just cut a piece of drip line and put right over the top to hold it in place. Flatten it out kind of the best you can, and then I found with the other ones that when it fills up it kind of shifts, so I was staking them right at the end and then they pop out. This may have to move over here. We'll see how it goes. Okay, hopefully I have you guys at a decent angle to try to show you this, but this is the main line that I have set along the edge. Trying to bring the drip line kind of as straight as possible, and then this valve is going to fit in about there. So I'm going to punch a hole here, and you just, the sharp end of the tool, they do make a really fancy one, but I'm cheap and I'll use this one because it's not cheap. And then I found that I have to kind of squeeze these sides and really push, and then it snaps into place. Now this line is going to move up a little bit because it's not quite where I need it. Oh, maybe. I want it to be a little bit higher up out of the walkway. So that looks good to me. And then I'm going to make sure this is backed off all the way. Open up my line. It kind of slides on. Sometimes I had to work it a little bit more to get it up over it. And then I kind of hold this in place and this in place while I screw this on. Otherwise, sometimes it kind of pushed the drip line back off. And it's as easy as that. So if I turn the system on and I don't want to water this one, I just turn the valve off. And when I want to water it, I just turn it back on. So I think we will put another stake to hold this here. And then I'm going to grab another stake. I don't think I need one right at the valve. I think I'll put one back here a little further. We'll see what it looks like when I turn it on. Okay, it's the first line we set up. I just did the exact same thing. Set this side up. I did, the way these were planted, I put it on kind of the outside away from the panel. And these were planted far enough away that I put the water line between the plant and like the T-posts. So now we turn it on and hope it all stays together. Okay, I'm gonna go turn the system on. I don't know if I told you guys, but like this T here, I've had it blow off a couple times. I think, fingers crossed, I have it on the way it needs to be, but those are actually lines that are supposed to be for this drip line, or connectors for the drip line. I couldn't find any T's made specifically for the main line. So, hi turkeys. I gave you a pan of water over there. Oh, they're leaking. So, I don't know if you guys can hear, kind of starting to fill the system. These that are kind of buckled up, as they fill, they lay back down. I will go kind of to the ends of them and pull on them if they don't fully lay down. Like, black. This one is not quite laying down flat. It's got a kink. So we'll go pull that one at the other end. I'm still trying to kind of figure it out. And here, oh, it's just air moving its way through. You can see that dripping there. So this emitter, I kind of go and just push it down if it's next to it so that it runs down to it. I mean, the landscape cloth will, it'll soak through it, but if it can get to it this way, it's easier. This emitter, oh, is right next to it there. Okay. Right there. And this one is running to it. And that one is right there. Those should be good. That one is dripping on, dripping, dripping. This one, it's kind of running back that way. Looks like that one needs some more dirt too. This one looks like it's died. Some water to both of those. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye on them. That one is pretty bubbled up at that end. Pull this slightly. I can always move that main line down. And then I hooked this just so I could put a valve here, and I want to run a line down through the middle of the raspberries, but I think it's going to have to be weeded before I can get through it, at least at this end. Tomatoes aren't doing too bad. Just trying to see what I need to do. Looks like some of these need some more leaves pruned off of them. They're drooping down to the ground. And I think when I was back here, if I ever get this weeded, I'm going to run probably 3 lines across this to water everything here. These cherry tomatoes are getting some blossoms on them. Got some blossoms here on the, where are they? I think Best Boys? Better Boys. I think they're Best Boys. So it won't be too much longer and we'll be harvesting tomatoes. That must be a cherry. I don't think I've ever seen a big slicer with that many on a spot. Let's see. I'll have to look and see if I might have put a cherry there. Yeah, see, this has only got a few. I don't know. We'll see what comes up. I'll check my garden map, but I don't think I put a cherry there. Although it is dark, well, can't see, darker and different than these. Leaves are different than those. So maybe. I don't know. It is what it is. We'll get tomatoes one way or another. This guy looks like I need to come in and prune off these old leaves. Getting some blossoms, but it's bouncing back. This guy is tiny. Pop the blossoms off of these because they need to grow a little bit instead of fruit. And this is an original one that I planted, coming back. This one's bouncing back. And these green peppers are doing decent. This, well, I guess I'll let it grow that fruit, but another habanero. Pick some of these off so that it can grow. Take off these leaves, just not real green, not real healthy. They don't need them. They don't have to worry about them, then they can go. These are doing good. Basil's bouncing back. Oh, this tiny little habanero. I'm sure it won't have a whole lot of time to do anything, but they're not doing terrible. Oh, I guess, yeah, you can see in the camera. Oh, it's getting wet along here, all the emitters. So, doing all right. That basil's really popping up. Kale is liking it under here. It's probably gotten too warm for this lettuce, but figured I would try. I saw some yellow over here. Nope, right in there. On the other side, but there's some blossoms in there on the Roma. These cucumbers are going crazy. I didn't have quite enough space to get them. They're starting to grow up now. I went through and used my tie tool to get them kind of going where I wanted. And now they're starting to kind of cling and grab on their own. This watermelon, this is a crimson sweet, so they should be smaller watermelons. I'm hoping that they should be able to hang on the vines. Just trying to keep most of them tied up. They're not gonna all be able to go up this cucumber down here. I didn't have enough kind of up space to get them all started going up, so I'm going to let probably one or two kind of vine in this open space. Won't hurt it. Same thing with this cantaloupe, going crazy. I've got a vine here and a vine here, and we'll let those kind of take over this space. And there's another vine coming out this side. Oh, more of this ivy. But this is going to all be covered in landscape fabric, so it can kind of, we'll let it just grow out this way. It won't hurt anything. I won't have to mow or weed eat around it. My tie tool is not so great on T-posts. Not quite working the way I wanted it to tie up these zucchini. This one I got tied more at the top, and it's a little bit better, so I think I need to try a little bit more work on some of these. We're going to be picking some zucchini here in no time. I did come through the other day when I was out here and find some squash bugs and eggs. There's more eggs. I need to go find my tape. Just take some duct tape, stick them to it, and then get rid of it, because they will hatch no matter where they're at. So if I can stick the bugs on tape and pull eggs, hopefully we can keep some squash bugs away. Ooh, excuse me. So I'm gonna go turn this water on, and then I'll probably go find my tape. So I have this. I can attach the hose for watering. Oh, maybe. Okay. I can attach the hose for watering my self-wicking tubs and any other plants that don't have a drip line. And then I can disconnect and then connect it to my drip line. Ooh, sweating. It's like, I don't know, about 100 degrees. I don't know what it is in the sun, but it's hot. Alright, camera got hot. Changed the battery and took the case off of it. I don't know if I need, probably add some more garden stakes along here to hold the drip line down. This was some of the first stuff I did, and see, they're just not staying in place, so I think they're just way too far apart. But Jason's home. I'll go work on a couple other things, and then I'll come back and use some duct tape to pull some squash bug eggs off. So that's it, guys. Have a good day. See ya on the next one.